let's chat about, okay, so how do you balance simplicity, descriptiveness, and hooking the adult reader while writing a picture book? That is a good question, Sarah. So a question about, what do you mean by the adult reader? Like, do you want it to be engaging for them, or do you just want them to want to purchase it?
Both. I think I loved reading to my children because I enjoyed the book and
Yeah.
I liked getting into the rhythm of the story. So before I would purchase, I would, obviously the picture, the title, I'd read a couple pages and be like, oh, this will be fun, or I like this. And then I would like reading it to them at night. So there would be books that I would choose more often than other books from our, shelf of books. So how do you hook the adult while still making it simple enough for the child?
Yeah.
Um, but I like description and I like reading books that have lots of fun description. So have it not be too boring, I guess.
Yeah, yeah. I think those are really good questions. So what I always recommend is think about like what makes you pull off a book in a shelf. Why do you like this book? And then do it for very specific books. So like asking yourself like why you like Hamish or why you like that book. And even if you're reading, because you should be reading, recent books too. And sometimes we don't like recent books. You don't even like best-selling recent books either. But to say you just don't like them isn't enough data for yourself. So
Okay.
ask yourself, why don't I like this? Um, what about this story would I want to do different? If I were to have written this story, how would I have done it differently, or how would I have told the story? Um, and then do the same thing for recently published books that you do like. Why do I like this story? What about this story pulls me in? Or even if you go to the bookstore and you're just sort of browsing, what made you pick up that specific cover? What made you read that back description? What made you want to open it? Like for myself, I really like colorful books. I like anything that looks like it's going to be fun or entertaining. And like we're in the board book stage because we have a baby, and I don't like a lot of board books because they're boring. And for me, I want a longer story. Like I don't want to spend money on a book if it's only got like 5 pages or 6 pages. And so if I was going to write a board book, I would say like, how could I turn this into a book that someone could still read to a baby, but not feel like it's like my toes, my nose, like boring stuff. So, so asking yourself like those kind of questions
Okay.
can help you develop your own voice. And then the other thing I would recommend is, if you really have very specific picture books that you really love, like that ones that you would read like over and over and over again, I would type those out and make them into a manuscript. I call this picture book practice in my Google Drive. So I just have like a running Word doc of all the picture books that I really like. So I've done like We Don't Eat Our Classmates, Dandy, those kind of stories, because I really like the humor writing. So how does that look as a manuscript? It's important to pull away the illustrations because you're a writer, so you need to see it as the manuscript to really help yourself understand it.